craziest Sunday in my life. First up, we watched The Housemaid last night and I did my hair, and for some reason I think I finally figured out how to make curls stay on my hair. For reference, I have very thin and like slippery hair, but they're still here and they look so like fresh and good, so I'm very proud of that. But we're gonna talk about The Housemaid a little later. First off, I'm gonna make myself some protein coffee, because one, I eat like 0 protein, and 2, I am tired. So we're gonna mix this up. I usually do a little bit of milk and mix with some water, because just milk gets super thick for some reason, and only water doesn't really taste good. So we're gonna mix this all up. Yeah, I thought I was gonna be able to talk through this, but I need to focus kind of. I'm also working on a big knitting project right now. I've been working on that project for a week, maybe more, and I've knitted every single day. One day I was at the library at uni and I knitted for 4 hours because I was waiting for a conference thing, and I thought, why not just bring my knitting? Why not just be fully weird? It wasn't really weird though. Nobody pays attention to anybody else at uni anyways, so that worked out great. And now I already have the body finished, and I started the sleeve yesterday and I made a mistake. So now the sleeves are actually, no, the sleeves are not too big, but the body is in total 20 stitches too small, because I was confused about the phrasing. It said to cast on 10 additional stitches here, and I thought these were just for the arms, but I was supposed to knit them and then pick them up, but I just left them there. So that wasn't very smart, but we're gonna need to fix it today, because now it looks weird, and also I don't like how big the sleeves are compared to the body. So what I'm going to do is those 10 extra stitches, they're just sitting there, and it has like this big gap, but also they add another like 2, 3, 4 centimeters of width to the arm, and I would like to have a few centimeters less. So I'm just gonna knot them together somehow, sew them in the I don't even know where, and then just work with only the stitches that I set aside for these anyways, because the body now is 10 and 10 stitches too small. It's still not small, and it's gonna get like relaxed with blocking, but I just don't like that the body is like relaxed fit and the sleeves are like these, like super oversized, and it just doesn't match. I forgot cinnamon. I added cinnamon to this yesterday and it was so good. I'm just gonna add a little bit in there. I don't really know how to do this now. It's a little bit too late. I love adding cinnamon to everything, to matcha, to chai, to this, but it repels water, so it's kind of hard to mix it. So we need to do this again. I think that's good. Also, my arm hurts, so we're not gonna continue. There we go. Ooh. Oh my god. That just perfectly fits in the cup. Alright, we have the protein coffee, and now let's head into the living room so we can knit. I am kind of excited to be done with the project, because I'm a little bit... oh, that's not good lighting. That's a bit better. It's so gloomy again today. I don't really know what's going on. Also, my hair is already bothering me, so I'm gonna need to put it back somehow. Anyways, let me show you my project. I wrote a note last night to myself because I thought I would forget, but I didn't. I thought I was gonna be so distracted by the movie. So we have... I'm just gonna show you the back because it's easier. This is what it looks like. This is the back, and then obviously the collar is still missing. I can't speak today. Then we have a stitch marker here in the middle where there is no need for a stitch marker. Anyways, and then these are the sleeves, and compared to the rest of the body, they are quite big. They're like half of the body, and there's these 10 stitches in here that I cast on that shouldn't be here. And I think it's already big enough as it is, and then the other one I already got started on, and that gets even bigger. Can I tell? I don't really know. Anyways, these are even bigger than the other one, because there's those 10 stitches added in here. So I'm just gonna... I only did like 8 rows for the sleeves, so I'm just gonna unravel this and start over, because I just don't like the way it fits. And the only benefit of knitting something for yourself is you can actually adjust it. Obviously you can also pick the colors, but you can personalize it to you. And if you want this to be like floor length, you could. So I don't really know where I'm going with this. Last night I was kind of tempted to just give up on this for now and start a sock, because I actually took a photo, I think. I got 2 of Charlotte Stone Knits sock patterns, and these are so cute. The little ladybugs, I love them. And I have well, I guess I don't have black, but I have red, and I have some like basic, I think it's striped actually, but I have some like beigey pinkish background color that I could use, so I would just need to order black yarn. As a kid I really used to like ladybugs. Now they're just like any other bugs, and they kind of freak me out because they just appear out of nowhere. But yes, I was thinking I was gonna start this, but now I'm thinking I should just push through with this one, because I want to wear it, because it's so soft, and it's like the material is really nice because it's thin, but like not super thin, and I'm sure it's gonna keep me very warm. I already made a shawl and a Sophie scarf out of this material. It's this, by the way. This is the material, by the way. It is 72% cotton, 17% merino wool, and 11% baby alpaca. And it has a really nice structure to it. And I was thinking I was gonna do another like half zip up or cardigan or something. I might still do a half zip up, but I have no idea. I would like to do a striped half zip up, but I haven't figured it out yet, and I haven't found a pattern. And then I was gonna do a basic knit cardigan, because I wore one of my favorite knit cardigans yesterday. I bought that like 3 years ago, and it is made of 100% plastic. Not even like polyester and something, it's just straight up plastic. It says keep away from fire. And I like the fit and I like the color, but I don't like the material, and it's kind of cold and warm at the same time, because the material doesn't keep you warm, but it makes you sweat kind of, and it's kind of weird. So this morning I ended up ordering from Cezanne. I'll put a screenshot of the product that I ordered. I have no idea if it's gonna fit yet, but it looks exactly, actually it looks a little bit better, but it's the same exact gray and overall type of fit that my cardigan has. And I would love to, since I now know about fibers and stuff, and that you don't want your entire wardrobe to be plastic, I'm trying to kind of invest in a few nice staple pieces, not statement pieces, because I am a very basic outfit type of person, and I'm good with like 4 sweaters, because if I like the fit of something, I will wear it over and over again. So I'm good with having a few staple pieces, and I would like for them to be non-plastic. I already have one cashmere sweater from Zara, but that pills so much. So it wasn't like super expensive for cashmere, but it was still more expensive than other sweaters obviously, and it pills a lot, so I don't really like that. So I'm hoping that this won't do that. And I've also decided that if something is very basic, like a gray cardigan, and it costs me more money to buy the yarn, and then I obviously have to make it, I'm just gonna buy it. Because earlier this year, it's January, but earlier this year I was thinking, oh, I'm just never gonna buy any knit stuff again and just knit everything myself. But this type of cardigan will probably be knitted on like 1-2 millimeter needles, because it is so fine, and I'm not gonna do that because it's gonna take me a year to finish the project. Anyways, I am gonna start unraveling, and then we're gonna talk about The Housemaid, because that movie actually was really, really good. I think I would rate it a 7.5 out of 10. I finally figured my sleeve situation out, so now let's talk about The Housemaid. I think overall I would give the movie 7.5 out of 10. Thrillers are never my favorite movies, so that's a pretty high rating. There were, I think, especially towards the end, some things that were different to the book, and I think it was more cruel and more graphic than the book, but I think I just can't imagine things that bad, that good in my head, because there was one scene in the end where there's something happening with a tooth, and that was, I can't remember if that happened in the book or not. I think it did, I can't remember, but that I could not watch because that was just too much for me. But I think the movie was really good. I did like the casting. I think Amanda Seyfried was is just perfect for horror movies, because her eyes are so big, and every time she just like stands there and watches, that was so good. It wasn't super jump scary, but it's not a horror movie, it's a thriller, so that makes sense. So I was actually gonna knit while I talk, because now I can knit while not looking the entire time. It might be difficult on the sleeves because the tension is a little weird, but yeah. So I like the movie overall. I'm very interested to see if, because I'm looking at my housemaid books over there, there's 3 books, so I'm very interested to see if there's gonna be a part 2 and 3 of the movie. I think that would be really nice because I like the books. I do think that it started kind of quick, like without any backstory, and in the book you get a little bit more backstory throughout the story and not just like all at the end. So I think that was a little different, but overall it was really good. And so I would watch it again, and I would also definitely watch the second and the third one if they eventually ever come out. And the housemaid being this good gives me hope for Verity being really good. That was one of my favorite those types of thriller books. Oh, I actually borrowed it to a friend of mine. That's why I can't see it on my shelf. I was looking for it. That was one of my favorite thriller books ever because it's so twisted and so scary, and I think Verity would be more jump scary than the housemaid just because of Verity, the person herself, moving around the house. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but I am so excited for Verity to come out. I don't know when it's gonna come out. Maybe I should look that up. But I also love Dakota Johnson, and she is the ghostwriter. I don't remember her name. She's the female main character. So I'm very excited for that movie. And again, the housemaid being good has my hopes up for Verity being good, but on the other hand, It Ends With Us, the other Colleen Hoover book / movie, was so bad. I didn't like that at all. I think the cast was way too old, the cast was weird, but the, what was his name, Atlas from It Ends With Us is the husband in The Housemaid, the same actor. And I think he acted so good in that movie. Obviously, I knew going into it that he was also a psychopath, but he portrayed this like loving husband and then the switch so well. I liked it very much, and because with Atlas there wasn't really that much, well, in It Ends With Us there wasn't that much to portray, I guess, because he was just kind of this nice guy that I think gets angry like one time. But in this movie you could really see that he's like a good actor. So yeah, I really liked the movie, and the house itself was very close to how I imagined the house in the book. Very white and airy and clean, and somehow way too big. The staircase was gorgeous. Whoever designed that actual house, the staircase is great. And then there's the scene regarding the staircase kind of towards the end where the staircase gets to shine again. Really, well, I guess I shouldn't say I liked that scene, but what happened was appropriate for the situation. I don't know how to put it. But yeah, so I really like that movie, and it's making me want to read more again. I'm still on the Frankenstein audiobook that I listened to a couple weekends ago when Louisa was here. I still haven't continued, but I'm watching Criminal Minds and I love it so much, and now I'm kind of in a thriller mood with The Housemaid and Criminal Minds and stuff. And I saw that there is a movie called Dead of Winter coming out kind of soon, and there's also a book by Darcy Cotes also called Dead of Winter, and I thought it was gonna be a movie adaptation of that book because I've been wanting to read that book, so that would have been great. But there's actually like a billion books called Dead of Winter. I looked up Dead of Winter in my bookstore app, and there were like 4 books, and none of them were Darcy Cotes' Dead of Winter that I was looking for. So unfortunately it's not the Dead of Winter that I thought it would be, but the trailer still looked really interesting. And the main character is Emma Thompson, I believe, the lady who played Nanny McPhee. And she, at least what I saw in the trailer, it looks so like interesting. Obviously it's a thriller horror movie, but still. And also she wears this knitted hat, and I love it. I'm obsessed with it. So maybe I need to watch that movie. But also I would love to read Dead of Winter. But also I have like 4 more thrillers that I should read over there. But apparently Dead of Winter by Darcy Cotes is a really cool book. I did read The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley the other day. Well, no, not the other day, like 2 weeks ago, I think. And that's also, I think, from what I've heard, a similar setting to Dead of Winter by Darcy Cotes, because it's this group of friends and they had to, not a cabin that's like far out, but like lodges because they're fancy and from London and stuff. There's like a murder happening, obviously, because it's a thriller, and I really didn't like that book for some reason. I think it was very predictable. All of the characters were annoying. It's basically this group of friends. I think they're like 3 or 4 couples, and they all know each other from college, and they're all in their 30s, and they all bully each other all of the time. There's cheating going on between them. They all basically hate each other while pretending to like each other, while just bullying each other like openly. And I don't know why you would be like in your 30s being friends with people who bully you. I feel like that's something you maybe do with like 12, but not 30. And then yeah, well, one person dies, and then there's 2 suspects, and one of them is interesting. The other one would be very obvious, and I'm not gonna tell you what happens, but I was very disappointed because it wasn't super predictable how it ended, but it was kind of like, oh, okay, so that's what it was. So I didn't really like that book, so now I don't know if I want to read another similar setting thriller with a group of friends going to a cabin. I don't know what trope it would be, but that's the trope. People going to a cabin. So yeah, reading wise, I'm not doing great right now. Maybe I should listen to Frankenstein, but then I would have to stop watching Criminal Minds, and it's really interesting right now. I've never actually watched all of Criminal Minds because I've never had like a continuous Disney Plus subscription, and back in the day I used to just watch the episodes that were on TV in like random order, and now we have Disney Plus right now. I am on season 14. I started like somewhere in the middle because I already know the early episodes and I don't need to know everything that happens. So I'm on season 14. I think there's like 17 or 18. Maybe I'll actually manage to watch everything this time. But there's like 20 episodes a season, and they all are like 45 minutes long. It takes kind of a long time to get through one season, which is great because I love watching Criminal Minds. I would actually love to read a book that's kind of similar to Criminal Minds. I've heard that the Mindfuck series is kind of similar, but a little bit of like dark romance involved. And then there's also the Reynolds Protection Agency series that I read the first book of, and that was one of the worst books I've ever read. I had such high hopes because on TikTok, the author or somebody else advertised it with being a kind of romance with each of the Criminal Minds characters, where they also solve crime, and the main character, the female and the male main character, are involved in the crime or whatever is happening. So that sounded so promising, and I think the first one, the kind of like older brother protective one, was Hodge, and the main character didn't have any of Hodge's characteristics except that he was protective, but like weirdly protective, obsessively protective, and that's not who Hodge is. Hodge wouldn't be obsessive except for when it came to that one guy that killed his wife, you know? And then I didn't like the conversations that they were having. I didn't like the pacing of the romance. I didn't like the romance at all, like in general. And the case was kind of boring because there's kind of one main case going on, and then there's one where there's like just a little bit of information sprinkled in, and I would have liked to know more about the case that had a little bit of information sprinkled in, and not the boring one that was obvious, that I solved in like 2 seconds, that did not keep me like entertained or like thrilled at all. So I'm not gonna continue reading that series. It's also been a year since I read the book, so but yeah, I'm just gonna keep knitting because apparently I can't knit and talk yet. This is what the sleeve looks now. I need to do like 3 more rows until I start decreasing, and then it should be kind of an easy, quick sleeve day. If I can finish this whole sleeve today, I'm gonna get myself a treat or something. I don't know. I probably won't be because it's pretty big, but we'll try. It is time for a little lunch break. I'm just cutting up my tomatoes because I'm gonna make a tomato mozzarella salad. My favorite. It's easy and I can kind of meal prep it by just buying a bunch of tomatoes and a bunch of mozzarella, and that's all I need to do. But I just texted my sister and she told me that she watched People We Meet on Vacation yesterday. And I've been scared. There's been so many BookTok kind of movies coming out, and I've been scared that they're not good because People We Meet on Vacation is probably my least favorite Emily Henry book, but apparently, according to my sister, the movie is pretty good. Like, it's not bad, definitely, it's good. So I might watch that, but I'm not really in the mood for a rom-com today, but I might watch it kind of soon. But if you've watched that movie, or The Housemaid, or any other booktok-ish movie, please let me know what you think, because I'm always scared, because I imagine things a certain way in my head when I'm reading them, and then if they are very different, sometimes it can be good, a lot of times it can be bad. So please let me know. Also, if you have any book or booktok-ish movies recommendations, please let me know, because I'm always looking for new books to read, even though I have too many, but I love to read, and also am kind of collecting books because I just like reading. And I know I'm gonna read so much in the summertime, because then I have like 2-ish months off, and that's just gonna be the best time. I'm so excited to be back in my favorite park, to read there. I might knit there. I'm probably gonna maybe like dog sit a little bit and take my sitting dogs there. I'm just so excited. This is the state of my lunch currently. I'm just gonna need to add the rest of the ingredients. Oh, and I also need to roast some sunflower seeds. I love using pine nuts in my tomato mozzarella salad, but they're so expensive, and the packages are always so small, so that I usually just buy sunflower seeds instead, because they do the trick. They're crunchy. And then the key is to not just use liquid balsamic vinegar, it's to also use this cream thing. So we're just gonna add a bunch of this. And my basil, I bought a basil plant a couple months ago, and I thought it was gonna grow like crazy, but it's not growing at all. So now I can't use it anymore, because otherwise it's just gonna be dead. So I can't add any basil. I used to have a lot of frozen basil over the summer when my balcony basil farm exploded, but I'm out of it, so I can't use that anymore. Anyways, this is what it looks like. I'm just gonna add my roasted sunflower seeds, and then we're gonna have some lunch. I have been knitting non-stop for the past 2 hours, and I can finally show you some progress and kind of the game plan for the rest of the sleeve. Okay, so this is where we're at. These are all decreases every 4th round. The pattern called for decreases every 8th round, but the sleeve is still pretty big, so I think 4 is good. And then this, I don't know how to show this better. This one is a little bit, like the body is a little bit tighter than I thought it would be, so I'm just gonna stretch this out with blocking, but try and keep the sleeves as close to this size as possible, because this is great. This is the perfect sleeve size, and I only have this much to go. I don't know how heavy this yarn is gonna be while blocking, if I need to knit the full sleeve or stop like right here, because it's gonna stretch out so much. So I need to somehow research that and find out about that. But it looks like in the pattern they're knitting pretty much the whole arm, and my gauge is pretty much perfectly what they are calling for. So I think I'm just gonna stick with the pattern on that. I don't know why their sleeves are so big, or why they seem so big, because in the photos the sleeves don't look that much bigger. But yeah, this is where we're at. I don't know how to show this differently, but yeah. And then I also need to finish it off with this little border, so that's gonna be like right here, I think. So I think I have like 10 centimeters left of knitting, then I'll do the border, and it's probably gonna stretch a little bit. So I think that's gonna be the game plan. I'm a little bit nervous because it feels like it's gonna be done kind of soon. Obviously I still need the collar and the zipper and the second sleeve, but we're finally getting somewhere, and I'm so excited, because I'm so excited to wear this, because I love the colors so much. These are the yarn colors if you wanted a close-up. I think I'm gonna make a hat out of this, because I think that would also look really good. I don't know. Also, this yarn is on sale right now, so I might get a little more. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep knitting and figure out how long I'm gonna make the sleeve. I did it. I finished the sleeve. I think the length is pretty good, because with blocking it's gonna get like a little bit longer. I'm also very happy with how the shaping and the sizing of the sleeve turned out. I don't know how the original pattern decreases would have worked out, because I already have a smaller arm circumference here, and then I decreased more, so the original sleeve would have been huge but it looks regular sized in the photo, so I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, I'm so happy. All I need to do now, I don't know why I keep showing it off, this weird. Anyways, all I need to do now is finish the second sleeve, which should take me another day, and then do the collar and the zipper. And I'm actually going on a little knitting date with one of my friends later this week, so I definitely have more time to knit this week. I need to stand up. I feel like that's a little bit of a better angle. It looks really funny right now. Anyways, other than the knitting date, I don't think I'm gonna be knitting very much this week because I still have finals Thursday and Friday, and again the week after, 2 weeks after, I don't really know. So I guess hopefully it's gonna be a while until I finish this project because I really want to focus on uni and pass all of my remaining classes. And I also do want to finish the sweater, but I'm gonna finish this anyways, and it's not guaranteed that I'm gonna pass my classes if I don't do anything for them. So we need to shift priorities starting Monday, which is tomorrow, which I am not happy about, but what can you do? But yeah, I'm very happy with how this turned out. And I think it's actually gonna be, because if I stretch it out a little bit now that it's like dry, it's already pretty much the length that I want it to be, so I think it's gonna be great. I also need to order finally blogging mats and the combs that you use for blogging, because for my latest projects I've just been using cardboard, towels, and little like regular pin needles, and if you want to do a straight line with pin needles it looks like a scalloped edge, but the other way around, because the pins just stretch out like punctually and not the entire thing. I don't really know. So I need to order that, and that should probably come in time for whenever I am finished with the sleeve and the collar. And then I also need to order a zipper, and I'm not sure if I want to do a navy, like a dark blue zipper, if I want it to be matte or shiny, or if I maybe want to do gold, because all of my regular like hoodie zip-ups have silver zip-ups, but I wear gold jewelry, so I don't know if that would be fun or if that would be too much. I think I'm probably just gonna go with a matte dark blue one, but maybe gold would be fun. Let me know what you think. So yeah, that's my project for today. I literally didn't even leave the couch. It's fine though. Sometimes that's just what it is, and that's just a cozy Sunday, I guess. I need to take this off because it's kind of annoying me. There's nothing here, but I can already tell you that it's very warm because I am warm on one side and breezy on the other side. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this cozy, slow little Sunday vlog, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.